We're about to tell you about an animated movie that's coming to absolutely blow up the theaters. The new film from the creators of Coraline, Wildwood. Are you ready to see all the hidden details from the trailer that was just released? The trailer begins with a happy moment inside the McKeel family, the main characters of this story. The movie is based on the book of the same name by writer and singer Coraline and follows the adventure of the siblings Mac and Prue McKeel. The scene is interesting because behind the children's mother, there's a family tree artwork showing the characters' relatives. And that is central to the movie because in the book, the McKeel couple could not have children, so they make a deal with a witch from the enchanted forest in order to get pregnant. That pact between them is central to the story, which is why that detail is there. So if you're already ready to see everything waiting for you in this huge production, you know what's starting. It's another awesome Cinewave! Notice that Baby Mac's pajamas are covered with ladybugs, and that's a beautiful detail because the entire aesthetic of the movie focuses on nature themes, with talking animals and insects where magic is mixed together with plants. In other words, it fits perfectly with the theme of the movie. One super important detail that could be part of the movie's story is that Baby Mac is the only blonde character in the family. That's curious, don't you think? Why didn't he inherit the dark hair color from his parents and sister? Remember, the couple couldn't have children, and the two siblings, the girl and the boy, only exist because of a spell created by the villain of this universe. At least, that's one spoiler we can reveal from the books. In this trailer detail, we can see that Mr. McKeel is wearing a hat to hide his son's hair. Maybe he doesn't want people noticing that detail in the ending, and the characters in this scene are talking about leaving the house. In reality, the parents are begging their daughter not to leave the house that day. In the kitchen, there's a decoration on top of the stove that looks like a seated Buddha statue decorating the set. That also shows how this family has a deep connection with nature because, in Buddhism, humans and nature are not separated, which fits perfectly with a movie about an enchanted forest. Notice that Prue's shirt also has insects on it. They look like wasps or moths, and that's another detail showing how the entire aesthetic of the movie focuses on nature. The scene changes to Mac lying in a stroller holding a toy snake. Apparently, he likes wild animals. The siblings appear outside the house, meaning Prue disobeyed her parents and left home with her brother even after they begged her to promise she wouldn't do that. In the background of the scene, we can see the St. John's Bridge, located in Portland. That's where the story of the book takes place and the setting of the movie. On the red wagon where Prue carries her brother Mac, we can see the word Malloy written on it, and that is the last name of the author of the book that inspired the movie, writer Coraline Malloy. Notice that in the background, we can see people wearing normal clothes and walking around a regular modern-day city. This detail is super important because we're talking about a fantasy story that takes place in our world, but all of that aesthetic will change when Prue enters the enchanted forest. Would you rather live in the real world or go to a magical forest? Comment the hashtag magic so we can get to know you. We found a detail that is really interesting and that at the same time could either be a mystery or an animation mistake. The man holding the cardboard box and wearing a white and green cap appears to be the same character who walks past them a few scenes earlier in the street, but the back of his shirt looks different. Are we talking about the same person or not? Does it happen on the same day or not? Is it a mystery or an animation mistake? We don't know. We'll only find out by watching the movie. The same guy appears next to them again, but this time wearing different clothes. Could the movie's production team be playing with us? We can see that the movie takes place in modern times with a very interesting background detail. There are three groups of people with their cell phones: the guy in the black shirt, the man taking a picture of the woman, and the couple in the background staring at a phone screen. That detail is interesting because all of them are outside in a beautiful park, but they don't seem to be looking at the world because they're trapped in their phones. Only Prue is actually enjoying the moment with her brother. Want a tip? If you're at a park, enjoy the day, not the screen. The scene changes and we see a mysterious person inside a bedroom with some toys in the background. He's using an old key to lock the door. Could this be a child's room? We already know who it is, and we'll tell you in just a moment. The mysterious hand actually belongs to a character from the book named Alexei. He is the prince of the forest, and is he there to discover something terrible about his past? He appears again outside the house. It's a stormy night and the boy looks sad. Anyone who has read the book knows what this scene means, but we're going to keep the suspense going, so stay tuned. We can see that the animation will have lots of background details, like the super realistic posters attached to the pole and even the water Mac is drinking. This movie is completely made in stop motion. In other words, the characters are real dolls brought to life and animated through thousands of photos taken for every movement. Here we can see the studio drawing attention to the fact that the creators of the famous animated movie Coraline are involved in this story. In other words, this movie is going to be incredible. And another detail is that we see Prue and Mac in a city park next to the girl's friend, a boy named Curtis. In the next scene, we can see someone trying to open the door of the same room Alexi locked, and the person does it with so much force that the door frame breaks. The one who enters is the villain of this universe, Witch Alexandra. She is desperate to stop Alexi, her son, from doing something terrible. Back at the park, we see a flock of crows surrounding the children. Those crows are controlled by Witch Alexandra, and that has everything to do with the movie's biggest problem, which is the disappearance of baby Mac McKeel. And if you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do. Click and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. Prue and Curtis realize they are surrounded. But did you notice that the girl's friend looks a little like the witch's son, Prince Alexi? That will have a reason in the movie. Little Mac looks up, and there are sharp shadows surrounding him. Those are the crows that will take the boy far away. This must be one of the first scenes from the book. We return once again to the scene of Prince Alexi during the stormy night, and he is crying a dark liquid. But don't be fooled, that is not blood, it's oil. But why is that? Have you already figured out the mystery? The witch's crows take little Mac McKeel away, just like what happens in the books. The entire aesthetic of the movie changes when we see a strange tunnel where some soldiers dressed like the guards from the Nutcracker appear running. These soldiers look like animals, but one of them looks human. That human must be Curtis, because in the book, he takes on that role. We briefly see Prue on her bicycle approaching a mysterious man. According to our sources, this must be the character Brennan, the king of the bandits. Prue and Curtis are going to escape from a train that seems to lead to the kingdom of the enchanted forest. But the girl appears to be carrying the boy in the wagon. Why could that be? Prue also appears riding on the back of a golden eagle named General. She is a warrior of the skies, but the girl is no longer beside her friend Curtis. Did they fight, or did they get separated from each other? Curtis really was the soldier in the tunnel we talked about, because he appears wearing the exact same outfit in a super quick trailer detail. Prue appears walking along the gutter of the witch's mansion, and that shows the girl is truly alone for a while. Is she really going to lose her friend in the movie? The detail of injuries on the character's hands shows how intense this movie could actually be. Will you really be able to watch it? Of course you will, don't worry. And in a super quick detail, we get the confirmation. Prince Alexi, who had been standing on the balcony of the house until that moment, breaks off a piece of his own body when he realizes he is a robot and not a real boy. That's why he was crying. And finally, we get a quick look at the villain, Witch Alexandra, already in her evil witch form. She has a sinister ornament on her head and an expression of anger and sadness. This villain looks completely bizarre, but if you want to know just how bizarre, you'll have to wait until October, which is when the movie releases in theaters. It's almost over, but until then, you can stay with us. There are 2 super fun videos waiting for you. Thanks, and see you next time.